In this video, we're going to discuss the money behavior. Actually, we're going to discuss the concept of money, just because I think we all understand what money or currency really is, but I want to make sure it's clear that just because a script says money on it, that it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, money exactly. You don't have to be purchasing goods at a convenience store or something, right? It doesn't have to be coinage. It could be really anything in your game that represents a type of currency. So in this example, you might notice that I have a variable at the top of my screen that says my keys. So in this example, the key is the currency. And here what I've done is I've set up like a little lock on the wall, and it says press E to unlock. And then when I press E, it says you don't have a key. Okay, that's just the buy object behavior, which we've seen before. And in that example, I used the concept of money, my money, a variable. But what I've done is just created my own variable called my keys, which I'll show you here in a moment, and then just fed it that variable instead. So really anything can be a currency. You can make up your own currency. It could be my mojo or whatever it is that you want it to be. And that instead could be the key. So you could have my treasure, and then anything that's up here might be my treasure. But in my case, it's my key. So here you can see, I'm just going to turn my little flashlight on. You can see this guy had a key right there. And if I go and I collect that, key's collected. My key says 1 now. I'm just going to go back to that lock. Back here in this chamber. And now, if I press E, keys goes down, the lock turns, the door opens, and I'm able to grab the Dream Builder Maximus, this fabled sword. Da-da-da! Yeah! Yeah! So that's the money behavior. Let me show you how that's set up. I know it's a kind of a simple one. It's kind of hard to do a video that explains money because it's about everybody on the planet understands what money is. But I wanted to think of it in a different way. Really instead of money, instead of coinage like you see in the picture, it's really just currency. Anything you want to spend, anything you have a finite resource that you want to track as a variable, this could work. So let's just step through the parameters. We have E to collect, obviously. That would be if the pickup style is set to manual. But in my case, I had it set to automatic. So that means that anytime I'm within the pickup range, which is 80 units, it just automatically picks it up. So that's what happened. And that's a good idea to do if you have a small object, especially when it's very small or hard to see. Probably the best plan is to use automatic. When it's collected, either way, it'll say key collected. The quantity is just how many keys am I getting. So this one key could represent 10. It kind of, it just depends on what you're doing. Maybe it's I don't know, a jar of marbles and there's 100 marbles in there, whatever it is. So then you have the variable that you're using. Well, I'll show you how I created the variable in just a moment. But for right now, just understand that you would reference whatever variable you're using here. So you might, if you wanted to use my money, you would just type in my money. But we want to keep it as keys. Okay, my keys. That's my variable I just made up. And then we have the prompt text. So when I collect it, where is the text, this text up here, key collected, going to show up? Anytime you see local, it means it's local to the object, meaning nearby the object. If you say screen, then it's going to show up dead center at the bottom of the screen. And then you have the item highlight. I still owe you guys a video on item highlight. It's really its own topic, but I'll tell you that you're going to see that show up in a lot of different object related behaviors. So I apologize for not having put that together yet, but we will get to that. Suffice it to say, ultimately what it comes down to is if it were a darker scene, maybe you want there to be a sort of highlight all the way around the key so that it's a little bit more visible. It kind of shows up in the darkness. You can do that by using the emissive texture on it, but we'll dive into that in a separate video. And then the sound, of course, is what sound you hear when the key is collected, which was just automatically the key wave sound was just the one that was provided with Max. So pretty simple stuff. We've already covered the by object behavior, but just so that it's clear in case you haven't seen that before, that's what this is. So by object is just referencing that same variable and deducting one key. So there's the price. Here's the variable. And then it'll just deduct that amount when it's used. And that, of course, is logic linked to the door and so on and so forth. The only other thing I promised you we would look at is how to create your own variable, again, in case you haven't already done so. You're just going to go to this HUD, the in-game HUD screen, and you would create a new user-defined global. So let's just create a new one. Okay, so we have our little 0 there. We'll put it over here so it shows up on that side of the screen. And you can see right now it's set to custom value, which is, it's got a 0 in there, but that just means that it doesn't know what to call this. So you got to give it a name. So let's stick with my mojo. I've always liked that one. So if I type in my mojo, that's not enough. I have not created a variable yet. I have to press enter. When I do that, see how the custom bar went away, and now my mojo is down here in the user defined global settings, and I can set a predefined value. You see how it immediately adjusted that number there. Now I'm going to want to give it a label, so we'll put a label over here and just the text size. I think I used 23. It looks about right. There we go. Type in my mojo. My mojo working for you. There we go. There. So I could just as easily go back to the money script, type in my mojo, just like it says here. See, it's all one word. Same thing with the by object, and I could spend my mojo instead. So it doesn't matter, just whatever it is. All right. So hopefully that makes sense and drills home the idea that it doesn't matter as much what the script says as what it does. If you focus on that, I think you're going to come up with some really clever ideas for how to use it. But that's it. That's the money behavior explained. If you enjoyed the video or if you learned anything new, please be sure to click the like button down below. It helps me out. If you're new here or if you just haven't subscribed yet, would love to have you stick around. And lastly, if you'd like a notification for whenever new videos are posted, just click the bell icon and that'll let you know when a new video is ready for you. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Hey, don't forget there's a written guide for every behavior, including ones I haven't yet covered on this channel. And if you want to learn some more, why don't you check out this video next.